So here yesterday, for example, was Kamala Harris talking about climate change, and what she says is so meaningful, and she says it so meaningfully, with so many pauses that are meaningful, with repetitions of phrases that are meaningful with meaning, and pregnant with meaning, that have meaning that are meaningful. Here we go.
I think of this moment as a moment that is about great momentum, inspired by, yes, optimism, inspired by a crisis, no doubt, but inspired by also our collective ability to see what can be unburdened by what has been.
What does what in the what? That's not even English. That's not even English. I will say once again, Kamala Harris is a predictive text mechanism come to life. She is significantly less lifelike than Chat AI. There's no question about this. We're not going to need a vice president of the United States. We'll just put a Chat AI bot in her place, and it will do a significantly better job of predicting what she should be saying. It is a moment when there is so much moment for the momentum of moments, filled with inspiration, to be inspired by the inspiration of what has been, unburdened by what has been, but aware of what is to come, but also present with us in the moment, inspirationally. Woo! The good news is that the vice president of the United States, the person standing in the wings with a vaudeville hook for the current president of the United States, all ready to hit the button that opens up the trap door, the alligators are underneath, Kamala Harris. Yesterday, she also got very excited about Venn diagrams. It's like every day. Her life must be the most boring life. Like, I understand that the vice presidency it's not a real job, but I've never seen a person so excited about Venn diagrams. Because I don't think this person exists. She's so excited about Venn diagrams. The level of excitement for Kamala Harris when it comes to circles that overlap with other circles is astonishing. Here we go. She's excited about the Venn diagrams again, gang.
Think of the movement through the lens of something I love, which is to always think about complex issues through the frame of a Venn diagram. I love Venn diagrams. I love Venn diagrams.
Again?
So,
see what I'm saying? She is nerdy. I'm just saying.
No, it's not that she's nerdy.
And you can do more. Nobody says a Venn diagram has to only be 3 circles, right?
Explain Venn diagrams more, Kamala. Do it. Can you explain all the Venn diagrams? How about a pie chart? Can she explain a pie chart? I would love to hear her explain a pie chart. It's like a pie, but it's a chart. It's both delicious and informative. I love Jennifer Granholm, the current Secretary of Energy, stepping in to try to save her. It's because she's so nerdy, guys. She is nerding out on the Venn diagrams. No, she's just awful at her job. If you liked Venn diagrams in 3rd grade, you're a nerd. If you like Venn diagrams when you are 50 and vice president of the United States, this makes you a dolt. But that's not the only thing she likes. Apparently, there are 2 things she likes above all others. Right? So I used to say that she was on her My Favorite Things tour, like Julie Andrews from Sound of Music, but she is in fact not. She only likes a couple of things. She loves Venn diagrams, loves them. Like, if Venn diagrams were a human, she would divorce Doug Emhoff and marry the Venn diagrams. But the other thing that she loves electric school buses. Loves them. They are the greatest thing that she has ever heard of, electric school buses. She has talked about it routinely. Yesterday was no exception. It was a day ending in Y.
Among the many things, I'm excited about electric school buses. I love electric school buses. I just love them for so many reasons. Maybe because I went to school on a school bus. Hey, raise your hand if you went to school
everyone else.
On a school bus, right?
Oh. Raise your hand if you breathe air. Raise your hand, guys, if you have ever been in a vehicle. Oh, we're unified, guys. We all been in a vehicle. Raise your hand if you have ever ridden a school. And that's why I'm so excited. Okay, so you wonder why the Democrats are taking a dead old man and stacking him on top of a horse and running him in 2024? That right there would be the reason. That one. Because if you're a Democrat and you look at the possibility of that in a presidential race, you want to stick your head in the gas oven you want to ban. Okay, but there is one other person who is being held to the side as a possible presidential candidate. And he's also having a super crappy week. We'll get to that in just one moment. If one of your goals this year is to do business with companies who don't actually hate your guts, you might want to check out Pure Talk. Pure Talk is the antidote to woke wireless companies. It is proudly veteran-owned, employs a U.S.-based customer service team, absolutely refuses to spend money on causes that aren't your causes. Not to mention, Pure Talk's service is fantastic. They're one of the largest networks in the country. You get blazing fast data, talk, text for as low as $30 a month. That's probably half of what you're paying for Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile right now. Switch over to Pure Talk in as little as 10 minutes while keeping your phone and your phone number. Your first month is guaranteed risk-free. Try it. If you're not happy with the service, you will get your money back. I use Pure Talk for all my business calls. This year, make it a goal to support companies who support you. Go to puretalk.com, enter promo code Shapiro, save 50% off your very first month of coverage. That is puretalk.com, promo code Shapiro. Why waste money on cell phone coverage that you don't need? Like data that you're not using with companies that don't actually like you very much. Instead, head on over to puretalk.com, use promo code Shapiro, save 50% off your first month. They make the switching process incredibly easy. That's puretalk.com, promo code Shapiro. Pure Talk is simply smarter wireless. Also, regardless of what you think about the situation in Ukraine, it continues to get worse and worse on a humanitarian level, which is why I'm grateful to my friends over at the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews. They've been working in Israel, Ukraine, and the former Soviet Union for more than 30 years. They've never seen hunger and suffering like they are seeing on the ground right now. That is one reason I'm asking for your help. Norman, for example, is an 84-year-old Holocaust survivor. He's been blind since he was born, and now he doesn't have the resources. He doesn't have the electrical power grid. He doesn't have water. It's IFCJ, which is providing him with blankets, food, and other essentials to help him survive through the winter. They need your help right now. Please consider donating to the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews. Just $45 can ensure warmth, food, and clean water to Jewish kids and the elderly in need. Right now, the fellowship has a special matching challenge where your donation will double in impact. Your tax-deductible gift will be multiplied times 2 to help provide twice the winter necessities and save lives as well. Go online to benforthefellowship.org or text Shapiro to 41444. That's benforthefellowship.org or text Shapiro to 41444. Make sure that you are giving your share this year. Head on over to benforthefellowship.org, text Shapiro to 41444 to get started. So as I say, one of the giant problems for the Democratic Party is the fact that they have no backup plan to Joe Biden, which is why they're going to take this octogenarian dullard and put him out front in the 2024 presidential race. That is particularly true since Pete Buttigieg, he must have been cursed by some sort of witch. I don't know if he came across a monkey's paw. Like, what exactly happened, as one of my friends said, to Pete Buttigieg, that he's offended the gods so? Because I've never seen a Secretary of Transportation be in the headlines as much. Quick, name the past 3 Secretaries of Transportation. You cannot. The reason you cannot is because nobody even knows what the Secretary of Transportation does, because typically speaking, transportation in this country works pretty well. You get on your plane and it goes where it's supposed to go and it arrives when it's supposed to arrive. Your trains arrive on time to ship all of your goods. You get on the highways and you're able to take those highways to places. Unfortunately for Pete Buttigieg, he's very bad at his job. And the reason that he got his job in the first place is because he was a famous gay candidate for president of the United States. He had no history in transportation. His entire resume with regard to handling issues like shipping problems was that he liked choo-choo trains and airplanes and had made out with his husband in an airport or something because he loved planes. This, as it turns out, does not actually qualify you to be Secretary of Transportation. Or at the very least, it doesn't exempt you from having to do your job, even if you are on paternity leave. Even if you are, apparently, the greatest person in the world for having taken 2 months of paternity leave without anybody noticing. As it turns out, the failures of the FAA over the last few days, the single worst flight outage since September 11th of 2001, which, as you'll recall, was prompted by an actual terrorist attack. This particular outage at the FAA was caused, they're not blaming it on one person. They're blaming it on one person who essentially pulled the plug. So it sounds almost like the movie Airplane, where you have a weird guy who literally pulls a plug out of the control tower, causing crisis. That's apparently how the FAA works. But the real problem here is that the system that broke down has been in need of repair for a very long time, and Pete Buttigieg was very, very busy going around talking about paternity leave on CNN. So here is the Wall Street Journal reporting. Federal aviation regulators, lawmakers, and air safety advocates have for years warned about outdated technology and other problems with the pilot alert system that brought U.S. air travel to a halt this week. Technology that supports the Federal Aviation Administration's Notice to Air Missions, or NOTAM's alert system, is, quote, failing vintage hardware that needs to be quickly replaced, according to the Transportation Department's most recent budget request for the FAA. Pilots and industry officials said the format and distribution system for the notices, which can contain extraneous information, can make them difficult for pilots to digest. This is critical infrastructure, said Michael Huerta, a former FAA administrator under both Obama and Trump, who now serves on the board of Delta. It may not be as glamorous as new airports or new bridges, but without it, the system can't function. The administration and Congress need to make this a priority. A breakdown of the NOTAM system led the FAA to halt all domestic departures for nearly 2 hours early on Wednesday, snarling thousands of flights and contributing to around 1,300 cancellations. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg has said the FAA tried unsuccessfully to switch to a backup system, and the agency then ordered a nationwide ground stop shortly after 7 a.m. Eastern Time. Apparently, the FAA said on Thursday its preliminary investigation, taken into the cause of the problem with its NOTAM system, was the result of actions taken by, quote, personnel who failed to follow procedures. So you're telling me that one dude screwed up the entire air traffic system of the entire country. The system has undergone updates, but is largely based on legacy technology that is about 30 years old, according to current and former government officials. So sort of like the power grid in California. Everything has not been updated for decades. The sprawling agency, which oversees everything from drones and jet manufacturing to the air traffic control system, has faced challenges revamping the software and hardware its staffers rely on to keep the country's increasingly busy airspace operating smoothly. When the Transportation Department made its annual budget request to Congress last year for the FAA, it sought $29.4 million to accelerate development of a program that would let the agency eliminate what it called that failing vintage hardware that currently supports the NOTAM alert system. The system has failed at least 2 other times since early 2021, but in those cases, the FAA was able to avoid widespread impacts to flights. So what exactly has Pete Buttigieg, the big problem solver, done about any of this? The answer, of course, is he has done nothing. He has done nothing. He has been very concerned, though, about ensuring the political correctness of the FAA. According to Breitbart, the Federal Aviation Administration has been focused on LGBTQI plus inclusivity and gender-neutral language under President Joe Biden. So at least they're handling the issues that you really care about. Not your plane getting there on time, but making sure that we use gender-neutral language in all of the systems that actually are not working. The agency is promoting LGBTQI plus minus divided by sign, happy face emoji, visibility, with the positive representing any residual sexual or gender identities not covered by any of that, obviously. They've been tweeting out consistently about why Women's History Month is so important to the FAA, and Hispanic Heritage Month, very important to the FAA. Alrighty, guys, the rest of the show is continuing right now. You're not going to want to miss it. We will be getting into how Stanford cracked down on a professor who is speaking the truth about COVID, plus a couple of former Republicans who have declared they will not be Republicans any longer. If you're not a member, become a member. Use code Shapiro at checkout for 2 months free on all annual plans. Click the link in the description and join us.